live and this is working. We haven't done one of these for a couple of weeks, well, probably about a month. So I'm just going to check inside the group that we are all live. Forgive me for the shadow. I kind of look like half and half at the moment, but yeah, the natural light in here sets off the camera. So I'm going to have to get some new lights to sort that out. But yes, looks like I'm live and looks like there's some people here watching. So all I'm going to ask before we get into some cool content, there's been lots of questions coming in about conversion rate optimization, tips, landing pages, funnels, website stores, and I'm going to answer all of them along with some questions that you may want to ask me on the feed. But before I get into that, can whoever's watching now just say hello, give me a thumbs up, give me a comment below. It's just always good to make sure that you can hear me. I'm just going to test on my camera. Yeah, so it looks like you can, so that's good. So if you're watching this, please, yeah, give me a shout out. Comment below. This is the first time we've actually scheduled a live on YouTube on our channel. So for those of you who are watching on YouTube, you may or may not know we actually have a large and really engaged Facebook community called the Landing Page Lab. So if you are not already in that group on Facebook and you're on YouTube right now watching this, save the link. It's just landingpagelab.com. It will redirect you to the group. And inside that group, we've got, I think, nearly 5,000 members sharing conversion rate tips, optimization tricks all the time. We upload all of our latest content in there. So if you're watching this on YouTube and you're not in the lab, make sure you go on over to the lab. If you're watching this inside the lab, then that's great. Or on our Facebook page on Facebook, like I said, this is the first time we stream to multiple locations. Then head on over to YouTube because again, we upload some really cool content. Make sure you hit that subscribe and notification button because, like I say, we get some really cool content in there as well, and all our new videos go on here. The part of me doing this is basically getting our content going again. Liza's been absolutely smashing it in the lab. She has dropped endless amounts of free content on YouTube, some incredible landing page audits, and it's just been really refreshing to see her do that. But we want to interact with you. We constantly ask you inside the lab, what content do you want to see? And don't forget, guys, we're still doing between kind of 80 and 100 landing page funnels, CRO work per month, the whole team is. So we have such good insight of what's the latest trends, what works, what doesn't. So we are constantly asking you, what do you want to see from us? What content do you want? What do you want on YouTube? What do you want in the Facebook page? What do you want in the group? And this is your chance to ask us, okay? You can ask me anything here. We always have a kind of key philosophy here at Landing Page Guys, and that's to serve first. So we always give out free content. We're always trying to help as many people as we can. We do that inside the lab and on YouTube. So if you have any questions about CRO, conversion rate optimization, funnels, building landing pages and boosting those conversion rates, please drop them below or just drop them in the lab throughout the week and we'll get to them. But I'm going to get to some of these questions we've been asking across all of our social profiles. Loads of questions for you guys, and we've got some really cool questions come in, and I'd like to answer them now. Again, if you're watching this, smash that like button, which I can see someone's doing now. Amazing, thank you, Adam. Great to see you, mate. Drop your comments below. Let me know that you can hear me. But I'm going to start going through some of these questions that, like I say, have been coming in through our Instagram chat, our lab, our Facebook page over the last couple of days. So the first one is from James. And James is saying, I'm seeing a big drop-off between cart and checkout, and how do I fix this? Now, this is a very common problem. Okay, a lot of people who, if you're doing e-commerce, will have a store or a funnel, and they will go from product page, add the cart to checkout, add the cart to cart to checkout. So it's almost like a three-step process. It's store, cart, checkout. Now, one thing I'll say before we dive into that drop-off, if you're just selling a single product or you have a single product-focused DR, direct response sales page, then sometimes there's often no need for that middle step. There's no need for that cart page, okay? So you imagine you've got DR page, cart, checkout. Sometimes you can just take that middle step out and it will increase your conversion because you're just basically diluting the barriers to entry to then convert for your consumer. But one tip that I can give you to optimize and keep the conversion rates high from your cart to your checkout page is consistency. And what I mean by that is a lot of you, and most people will, and comment below if you use Shopify, WordPress, WooCommerce, Sticky, Connective, comment below. I'd love to hear that. But most people will be using Shopify. And the problem is with Shopify is you can't control anything on your checkout page, okay? But they do give you the ability to control certain things that can increase your conversions. And I'm going to tell you what those are. So first and foremost, the number one tip is keep your call to actions consistent across the whole funnel. So let's say, for example, you're on the sales page or direct response sales page, or you're on a product page, and the call to action button, I'm just going to pick this out. The call to action button is a green. Yeah, no wonder you're using Sticky, Adam, with your old connections. But let's say, for example, your call to action button is green, your font is Helvetica, and the call to action says add to cart. When you then add to cart and go to your cart page, make sure that button is exactly the same as the product button. And people get this wrong. So make sure on your cart page, the button has the same color, the same font size, the same font family, but also the consistency in the messaging is exactly the same. So it might say add to cart, then it says go to checkout. Bang. Then when you get to your checkout page, even if Shopify are controlling this, there is, in the Shopify settings, you can obviously style your buttons on your checkout page. So just make sure, again, you're using the same color, same font family, same font size, against same messaging. So you go add to cart, continue to checkout, finish checkout, or whatever that wording may be. So that's one big mistake we see. A lot of people will go like, they'll have add to cart buttons that are blue. They'll go to the checkout button will be in a different position on a different section of the page. It'll be a different color, a different call to action, different font size, and the messaging just isn't consistent across your funnel. And I know these things might sound very obvious, but it's these little geeky things that you can do on your funnels to really increase your conversion rate. So that's one little tip, is how do you stop your drop off from the cart to the checkout? Well, it's consistency in messaging and in those buttons. Another thing is making people aware of what step they are in your funnel. Now, as I mentioned before, if you're doing a single product store and you're going just one product straight to your checkout page and bypassing that cart page, this doesn't apply as much, but if you can do this, do it. But if you're going to a checkout page and then often like maybe a pre-purchase upsell or a suggestion wall, again, telling people where they are on that journey is going to instill trust in them, that they know they're not just going down some endless rabbit hole funnel. Okay, we've all been there when a brand will kind of take you from upsell to downsell to cross sell, and people get pissed off. Like, people just fed up of it. They just want to buy their product. So being very clear and visual on your pages exactly where you are in that process is another great way to stop that drop off. How do you attain that? Well, what we do is up in the header, we have a very clear bullet points of exactly where you are in that funnel. So let's say, for example, I'm taking someone to a cart page first and foremost. On that cart page, you have a thin line at the top that says product, cart page, and it shows that you're on that cart page. And then it says the next steps. So it says checkout, and then it says confirmation. So it says that you're almost like, it's like those multi-step funnels. It says you're like step 2 or 4, and people can visualize exactly what's to come in the rest of that funnel. If you have a suggestion wall, you have an upsell, put it in there. It will say like special deal, or you don't call it an upsell, but call it like special offer. But just let people know exactly where they are on that step as they go through that pre-purchase funnel. Okay, so that's another great way of kind of saving people dropping off, being very transparent of where they are in that user journey. Okay, so 2 things: consistent messaging with your call to actions, colors, fonts, buttons, wording, and then telling people where they are exactly on that journey by just having a little bar along the top that says you are on step 3 of 5, whatever it may be, and then keeping that across the funnel. And my last little tip on this is Shopify obviously don't let you edit that. And great, guys, to see so many of you commenting and saying hello. I'll get to these questions later. But so many people don't, Shopify doesn't allow you to control that last step unless you're using Shopify Plus. But if you're on a standard Shopify theme, what you can do, what they do allow you to do, is edit they call it the logo section, which is top left of your checkout page. So you can implement, you can add an image. Now, what people naturally do is just get their logo, bang it up, fine. But you actually have a little bit of real estate that you can use. It's not like a small little bit where just a logo fits. So what you want to do there is be consistent with the steps. So maybe you want to put your steps and then the logo above. Also, you can do things like putting on your payment seals, those trust seals, the money back guarantee seals, SSL secure seals as well. They work really well. So utilize that space on your checkout as a flat image. It can just be an image, doesn't need to be coded, to consistently implement that step moving forward. So 3 really cool tips there that you can apply on your pre-purchase flow to stop people checking out. Okay, guys, so as I said, if you're here, say hello. Also, make sure that you drop questions below. We've got loads of people watching. Like I say, first time we stream live on YouTube Plus inside the lab. But I'm going to get through some of your other questions. Okay, what will you recommend to simplify the payment gateway experience to increase conversion rate? Okay, so Harry, thanks for the question. Make sure you watch this back because I've just kind of gone across some really good ways of doing this. It's not about simplifying. It's about being honest with your customer about where they are in that journey. So, you know, I'm not saying don't have pre-purchase upsells or order bumps or one-click upsells. I'm just saying nowadays you have to let people know exactly where they are and what they're doing in that flow. So have a look, have a listen back, have a look at those points, and they'll definitely help you. Okay, question number 2, Louise. Louise has said, so this was on Instagram live, on our Instagram feed. She said, how do I create scarcity and urgency without looking scammy? Okay, that's a really good one. And by the way, guys, I'm just reading these questions off. I haven't pre-rehearsed this, so it may come a bit organic and raw. That's what an Ask Me Anything's all about. So I'm just having to think about that. How do you increase scarcity and urgency? Okay, so I'm guessing we're talking again about e-com and buying a product. One thing I will say is I'm going to start with the don'ts. Don't do what Adam probably saw a hell of a lot of, if you're still watching Adam, and we saw a hell of a lot of probably 3-4 years ago, 5 years ago maybe. And don't do your whole kind of like flashing banners, sporadic countdown timers, only X amount of products left, hurry, hurry, only so much time to kind of check out. Those things can come across really spammy if you do them in the wrong way. And also if you're advertising on things like Facebook, they frown upon things like that with compliance. So you need to be careful. I think it's more about just laying things out right. I do like, if you're using, for example, Sticky or Connective, I do like implementing a simple timer on your checkout, but don't get aggressive with it. Don't be like, this will expire in a minute. Give them a good amount of time, i.e. 10 minutes, and just say, we are holding your basket for 10 minutes. But I would say something like, the demand on our site is the demand for this product is really high right now. We will hold it in your basket for, and then count down for 10 minutes. You might want to do something similar on on Shopify on a cart page, for example. So you can definitely do things like that. But I wouldn't encourage anyone anymore to do these kind of flashy banners or really in-your-face urgency countdown timers and stuff, because A, Facebook and other platforms hate it. B, it gives a really poor user experience. And I think we're past the days of these kind of, I don't want to say scammy, but these kind of spammy affiliate kind of led rush my trial type offers. It's now all about e-com. It's about brand longevity. How can we resell to that customer? And I think that's where you have to be a bit smarter. Okay, number 3, this is Kazim. So he said, how can I gamify my free shipping threshold? So more site visits to qualify. I think what you're saying is, how can I increase, how can I up my AOV so that more people get free shipping? And there's a couple of ways of doing this. So first and foremost, we nearly always will call it out in a nav, up in the nav. Like we'll have like a thin toolbar at the top that will say like, spend X amount and get free shipping. And by the way, this is strategic. What you want to do is you want to have your hero product. So let's say, for example, my hero product is, this is very random, but like this glass, and my upsell is the water or the liquid that goes in the glass. Like let's say my hero product is $8, my water is $4, and my free shipping would be $10. So we always want to like just encourage people to take that upsell as a no-brainer to then get their free shipping. You should always have, we used to play around with putting the free shipping into the cost. So we used to say like, just add the free shipping onto the product cost and then charge that cost and say that you qualify for free shipping regardless. Like we just factor it into the price. But what we've seen better results with recently is having a shipping cost, but then having those subtle upsells that are like no-brainer upsells to then eradicate that shipping costs for the consumer. And that's the way you do it. You have your hero product positioned below the free shipping threshold, but then you have these one-click or really easy product add-ons or product upsells that take you above that free shipping. Okay, so if you're watching this now and you've got a single product store, there is always, by the way, always an upsell. Always an upsell. People who tell me there's not an upsell for the product are lying. Like there is always a cross or an upsell. There's always something that fits hand in hand with your product, or even a virtual upsell. Maybe it's a community. Maybe it's insured delivery. Maybe it's fast delivery. It's 24-hour support. It's an ebook. Like even digitally, there's upsells that you can have. But you want to position, like I say, that product, that hero product, just below the free shipping threshold. And then with these small upsells, your AOV is going to go through the roof because everyone wants that free shipping. Now, that's not enough. You then need to call that free shipping out. So let's say I add my hero product to the store. I then go to a cart page, and on that cart page, you need a dynamic call out that says you haven't qualified for free shipping. In order to do so, you only have to spend X amount more. So that needs to be dynamic. That needs to look at how much you spent versus the free shipping threshold and say, okay, well, if I've only spent $8 and free shipping is 10, you only need to spend $2 more. Then proposition them with the upsell and say, why not add this water liquid to go in the glass for $4 to then get free shipping? And then once they add it, boom, that dynamic header on the cart page updates and says, yippee, or well done, you've qualified for your free shipping. So that's it's a really good question. I would call it out in the header of the nav, and then I would also have this dynamic shipping calculator on your cart page. If you want to see examples of this, by the way, guys, head on over to packermask.com. It's something that we shared a lot of. It's a client's of ours website. The main reason we share it is because you can't duplicate that business, right? They were very happy with us sharing because it's not going to be here forever because of the pandemic. Everyone's selling face masks, but you can see the kind of tactics we've implemented. Everything I'm talking about here is on that site. So even referring back to telling people where they are in the funnel, the steps to eliminate that drop off on the cart to checkout page, that's implemented on there. The shipping bump's implemented on there. So go and have a look at packermask.com, PACA mask.com, and you'll be able to see some of those things. And obviously, if you want help with that, guys, just get in touch with us. Just go to landingpageguys.com. We can build you a store just like that, that converts like off the fucking tits. So that's exciting. Guys, if you've just joined us, we've got a really good number here. Say hello below in the chat. Drop your questions in the chat, but I'm going to keep running through these questions for you. Hopefully this is some useful information, but please make sure you shout out. It gets lonely in these live chats, so I want to speak to people. Okay. Question number 4 is Lisa. She said, how do I reduce my bounce rate on your sales page? Okay, I think bounce rate kind of all has to do with value proposition. Rope, nice to see you, mate. I'll get to your question shortly. So it all has to do with value proposition. So how obviously do you get your value proposition across to your consumer above the fold? Okay, and there's a stat that has been circulating the internet for as long as we've been doing CRO that says you have roughly 3 seconds to get your value proposition across to someone above the fold before they bounce or leave your site. So just imagine you've got 3 seconds. Guys, one thing I would do, thanks, good to see you. Liza's here, that's great. Liza, if you could just drop any links or anything I mentioned below, that'd be amazing. So if sorry, where was I? So if, completely forgot the question. Let me go back to bounce rate. So you've got 3 seconds. By the way, there's a really useful tool. If you Google usability test, there's a 5-second test. And what you can do is send them to your website, and you get random people basically giving you a response of what they think your website does. What is your value proposition? And very quickly, you'll get a very good indication of if your value proposition is strong enough. So I think that's a really good test. I think it's called usabilitytest.com or something, but just Google 5-second test. There's quite a few services out there. It costs like $25, and you get about 10 people just viewing your website for 5 seconds and then writing down exactly what they think you do. And it's very useful. It can be a landing page, it could be ecom, lead gen, whatever you may be. So that's a good way to do it. But you have, like I say, you have 5 seconds, 3 seconds to get your value proposition across above the fold before someone then bounces off your page. So how do you do that? Well, for us, it's all about that content, that big headline. What comes above the fold? What are the important elements above the fold? First and foremost, it's that headline. That's probably the most important element above the fold. And it has to be benefit driven. So again, a lot of people talk about a feature in that big headline. That's not interesting. All I really want to know as a consumer, and I keep going back to this so many times, right, is how can you save me time and money? That's really why we purchase 80 to 90% of things online, is because it saves me time and money, especially services, for example. So in that headline, tell me how you're going to save me time and money with this tool. Don't tell me about the shiny bells and whistles of the features. I just want to know how it's going to benefit me as a consumer. So benefit driven headline, sub headline. Then you want to do bullet points, 5 bullet points of again, benefit driven copy. You want a strong call to action, and you want some form of social proof and trust proof. So that comes in a testimonial, 5 gold stars, and then trust is, have we been featured somewhere? Do we offer guarantees? Why am I going to trust in this business? Okay, so when it comes to value proposition and bounce rate, that's the most important thing. Those are the most important elements. Get them above the fold. Go and use usability tests. Do a 5-second test. It's a really cool service, and just see what people come back with. Because often we think we've nailed it, and then you send it out to someone and they think it's something completely different. And you imagine if those 20 people think your site or your landing page is advertising something completely different. Now go and scale that times 20,000 with paid media, you're going to be in the shit from the start. So I think it's a really good exercise. Okay, I'm going to get to some of these live questions, and I'm going to revert back to some of the questions that we've got. It's great to see so many people here. I love doing these. We're going to get them more regularly. Me and Liza are on a mission to make this lab super, super active, make our YouTube super, super active, hopefully help enough people. And that's one of our missions. So let me have a look at some of these questions. What would you recommend? Okay, that's been said. Do you have any app on Shopify which can make those adjustments with the shipping? Unfortunately not. I'm sure there's something that exists. I'm sure there is. I would just go to the Shopify library and search for things like shipping bump, free shipping alerts, something like that. But everything we tend to do doesn't utilize apps just because of the heavy load speed. So we tend to do everything custom. We've kind of built our own in-app library, if that makes sense. But get in touch with the guys. Go to landingpageguys.com if you want a quote for us to kind of add this for you and the kind of pre-purchase flow. But I don't know of any off-the-shelf tools that do this. We don't tend to use apps. Just to get to a few, Mohammed, good to see you. Mohammed is watching on YouTube. Like I say, this is the first time we stream to YouTube, so it's really interesting to see who's watching on YouTube or who's watching in the Facebook Lab. If you're not a member of the Facebook, the Landing Page Lab, go to landingpagelab.com. It's completely free. It's our Facebook group. If you're not subscribed to YouTube and you're in the lab, go to YouTube, subscribe. We drop so much content for free. What do you think is the best conversion for mobile phone? I'm not sure exactly what your question is. Are you asking what the best conversion rate is, or I think you're asking what's a good conversion rate for mobile? Possibly. Mobile is super important. All I say about mobile is condense stuff, make it more like an in-app experience. People want to be in apps. People want to buy from apps on phones. So if you can condense your website and hide elements that don't overly affect conversion rates, and what I mean by that is all the filler that you normally have on a desktop page, condense it, put the most important elements there, and sorry, I'm just having a look. Condense it, put your most important elements, and make it more like an in-app experience. So bigger buttons, convenient to click, stickier, a call to action on scroll. But yeah, hopefully that's kind of giving you some tips. Reswan says, hey Oliver, can you share some great example of landing page products for winter outwear? Okay, so what I won't do here is go into specific niches, because everything I'm talking about applies across anything e-com and lead gen. Okay, so what you need to do is, if you haven't already, you are watching on YouTube, I can see, is go to our YouTube channel, and we've dropped a lot of content on how to build high converting stores. Just go to our videos and sort by most watched, and the most watched one, it literally breaks down how you build a high converting store in any niche. So you'll be able to pick some really good conversion tips off of that. So hopefully that's useful. Someone on Facebook has said, Callum said, Vitals 30 app is one that has one built in. Amazing, cool. So Callum said that the Vitals 30 app Free shipping confirmed. Callum, that's amazing. Can you drop a link to that for the guys below if you're still watching? That'd be wicked, mate. Thank you so much. Cool. So guys, if you have more questions, if this is helpful, if you're enjoying the content, smash that like button. I love to see people engage on this. You know, I don't get anything back if people don't talk back to me, if they don't answer questions, if they don't smash the like button, if they don't engage and interact. If you're shy, don't worry, just hit the like button. That's enough. But comment below. Let me know you're watching. Let me know if there's any questions whatsoever. We've got a really good number of people. Thanks, Callum. Appreciate that. And I'm going to jump back onto these questions. Hopefully these are helpful for you guys. Okay, so the next one is Amma. Amma said, how do I increase my AOV without discounting my product? Good question. Thanks for the likes, guys. Good question. And thank you for that link. So Callum's put that link to the Vitals app, which has a shipping bump. I know what Vitals is now. Yeah, it's a cool app. Just be careful on those speeds on that. How do I increase my AOV without discounting my product? Okay, great question. So you don't have to discount your product doing it to increase AOV. You have to focus on other things. So first and foremost, bundles. Secondly, things like pre-purchase bumps or upsells. So if you don't bundle yet, then that's the quickest way to increase your AOV. Okay, we've actually done some stuff recently where we've experimented with every single offer on one page. So we've offered people one-time purchase versus subscribe and save versus bundle. And that's a really cool way of kind of nailing down what works best for you. It's just kind of testing them all on one page and seeing what people go to, because it differs per product, different per price point. But bundles work. Now, there's different types of bundles. There's bundles where you just get more of the same product for a cheaper price. But if you're selling a product whereby you only need one of the items, so let's say, for example, one of the things we're working on at the moment is a client who sells beer machines. They sell lager and beer machines. So these taps where you have beer at home, okay? Everyone wants one. So the thing with that is you're only ever going to buy one. You're not going to buy two beer machines. You know, they're $400, $500 per one. Like, you're not going to buy two unless your neighbor wants one, you share one with your friend or whatever, but you're only going to buy one. But the way we're increasing AOV is we are bundling as starter packs. So we are saying, okay, well, instead of buying the machine, no one just wants to buy a machine because you have to buy the beer that goes in it, right? So we are bundling a machine plus 2 kegs that fit the machine. For someone who wants to buy more, we are bundling a machine plus 5 kegs, because you then get more beer and you save more money the more you purchase. So there's always, like, don't always look at upsells as things that you sell later on in the funnel. Try and bundle them on the front end. That will increase your AOV. The other way is by introducing a shipping charge with that dynamic counter. So, you know, have you spent the free shipping amount? No. Well, here's some cross sales to go up above that free shipping. So again, for example, on the beer machine, we will offer the machine, and then on the cart page, on the product page, by the add to cart button, we will have one-click product ads that will say add and save. You know, add and save this beer, this keg, this pint glass, this set of beer mats. You know, say add and save, buy more and save. So we encourage people to one-click them. When they add the cart, they all go to the cart, and then they qualify for that free shipping. So don't always look at like AOV as how can I sell more of the same item, or how can I increase my conversion rate? And don't always look at bundles as how can I bundle up this one item more times. If it's just a product that people are only going to buy once, let's focus on cross sales, marry them with other products, and do that in a clever way. So we've got some more comments. Okay, what's the best practices for font sizes for e-com, desktop, and mobile? Okay, so larger on the larger side is better, especially on mobile. And you have to think about demographics. So we have, for example, I'm just trying to think of examples. It's more on the lead gen side, but we have, because we do things like health insurance, life insurance, funeral cover, that's typically an older demographic. But things like hearing aids, for example, we have clients who sell hearing aids, and we will make the font size on mobile specifically and tablets bigger, because typically older people will view on tablets, and we make that font size a lot bigger because older people can't read small fonts. So I don't think there's a one size fits all. I would just say that your mobile should be a little bit bigger than your desktop, but your desktop can be pretty much standard font size. But then think about your demographic. Do they need bigger fonts? And don't get married to it looking a bit ugly with bigger fonts. Okay, so Adam said, if a business has many different customer avatars, do you guys try and create different pre-sale landers for each one, broad general? Yeah, that's a big battle when you're in your position, Adam. And don't forgive me for saying this. What I mean by that is when you're like a startup, or you don't maybe have the resources to have a full-time in-house marketing wing that can test multiple pages, multiple angles, multiple landing pages every single day, then you have to kind of pick your battle. So yes is correct. I would always have the product page fully optimized for anyone, so for general traffic, and then do exactly as you said, test the angle of the pre-sale first and foremost. So you might want to test, let's say, for example, a CBD product, you might want to test like pain versus relax versus anxiety versus whatever that angle is on a pre-sale. Do that on an advertorial, click through to the generic product page, and then work out what angle is best. Let's say you all of a sudden split test 3 or 4 different advertorials, and one angle is hitting home way, way more. Then go and optimize or duplicate your product page to fit that specific person more, and see if you can up that conversion rate. But it's something that we have a couple of retainers with larger clients who have the resources, the funds, for us to kind of bang out constant angles and constant different types of product page based on pain points. But when you're just starting, I would recommend first and foremost optimizing your site and your product page to the fullest and get that right. Then spin up. It doesn't take much to do one advertorial and then just get a content writer to spin up 3 or 4 different angles. You only need to switch out the content and maybe a couple of images, and just see which one converts best. Once you've found which one, if one stands out a lot, then spin that product page and see if you can kind of marry it as well. Hopefully that's helped. Broad versus general. Yeah, I would always try and niche down, because typically when you hit pain points and when people feel like they're part of, they're not alone, then they'll convert better versus just going 100% broad. But I would keep your store broad until you found that. Okay, Jeff has asked, what do you think of post-purchase upsells? Do you think they're still a good way to go? Yeah, I just think you have to do them. You have to do them in a smart way. So I think I've been saying this now for probably 2 years, and I think when I first started seeing it, a lot of people got pissed off because they didn't get the results with what I'm about to say. Like these kind of post-purchase, big flashy one-click upsells that kind of almost trick the consumer used to work, and people got pissed off, and they don't work anymore, and people have realized that. So I still recommend a pre-purchase upsell, but I think you can do it in a better way. I think you can almost do it as a product bump. So on your product page, having across products below the call to action. So above the fold, we tend to have, again, let's take the beer machine, for example. We'll have the beer machine as a hero product on the page, and you're buying a beer machine, but above that call to action, there's a section, like a little widget that says buy more and save, and it will give you the pre-purchase upsells. It will give you the kegs or the pint glasses or whatever that may be. Now, if they don't take that, we then do that again on the suggestion wall. So we'll also do it on the cart and the checkout and pre-checkout page on the suggestion wall, whereby they go to the cart and they click yes, carry on if they don't take the shipping bump, and they'll then say, why not qualify for free shipping? We're not saying bang, last one in stock, buy this now. We're just saying add these products, because why not qualify for free shipping? It's a much more native and organic way of doing it, and we feel that that's a better user experience, and that will not only up your customer experience and conversion rate, but it's the lifetime value that people don't feel they've been scammed. The last thing is you want someone clicking something that they didn't want to click, and then they're not your customer and they're pissed off because they get to the cart, the checkout page, and something's in their cart that it shouldn't be, or they purchase and then they look at their invoice and they see they purchased something they weren't meant to purchase. So it's all about that honesty and trust for me. But guys, these are amazing questions. I've got a few left to go. So if anyone's watching and they have a question, please drop it below. If you're watching, please hit that like button add some comments. It's really good to see so many of you on here. I've missed doing this, guys, so I'm going to start kind of doing these more and more. So Robert said, what are crucial elements I should have in my hero section for lead gen? So we did this on ecom, and it's not much different for lead gen. We actually did a poll in the lab this week of how many of our lab rats are kind of lead gen guys versus ecom guys. And it was interesting that a majority are ecom, but we still have a lot of lead gen guys in here, which is great. So how do you do this for lead gen? The most important elements on a landing page for lead gen above the fold are as follows. So it doesn't change too much from ecom. It's a benefit-driven headline. Normally, that's almost, when it comes to lead gen, when it comes to content on lead gen, you almost want to shock people a little bit. You want them to be very emotional when they view your page. And I'll give you examples, but it's content-driven headline, a sub-headline, bullet points of the benefits of what they're going to get if they submit their lead, social proof in stars or rating or a testimonial, a form has to go above the fold, or a multi-step question if you're taking them down a multi-step funnel, but something for them to engage with above the form. Normally a form. And also, again, I'm talking about emotion in lead gen. So images work wonders in lead gen. So let's say, for example, you want to do life insurance. A picture of a mother and father with their family, looking after them, cuddling them, will work very well because you're tapping into people's emotions on lead gen. Also, a headline where it's like, give your family the cover they deserve. That kind of thing. Like, you almost want to make people feel guilty or like really tap into their emotions on lead gen. So those are the most important elements above the fold when it comes to a lead gen page, and you want that form as well. Okay, so Harry's asked a question. How do we best use emoji on landing page? Maybe a smiling face and CTA button. Cool question. Okay, so we've said this now for years. We were the first to do it, and now everyone does it. But emojis on buttons still work. Okay, it's a mad thing to kind of compensate with, because it just looks stupid, and sometimes people get too married to their brand and they don't want an emoji on buttons, but they still work. And we've tried a lot. Okay, so split test different emojis on your buttons, but the one that we still can't beat is the pointing finger. So at the end of the call to action, you have the text, and then you have that pointing finger. And I guarantee it, like your click-through rate will increase if you put that pointing emoji. You can try different things, like you can try to get clever. Like for example, if you're selling coffee, put like a coffee cup on the end. We've tried things like put in the cart where it's like go to cart. We've tried things like rush my order with a timer or a clock. That works, but we still can't beat this. So this has always been the one, Harry. Okay, so I've got two more questions. Zach said, do you recommend cart pages or cart sliders? Honestly, I like cart sliders from UI UX position on desktop, but I feel sometimes they're very clunky. I feel like the ones that exist out there on apps and the pre-built themes often don't work. And I think they can damage your conversion rates. I'm not saying don't use them. If you do it correctly with a shipping bump on there, with suggested products on there, they can be very, very good. But I'm a bit old school, and I still like that kind of typical flow. I still like you to go to a cart page if it's a multi-product store. I still like that shipping bump. I still like the timeline of where you are in that journey. And I think most people are used to that. I think sometimes cart sliders will confuse people. But it's worth a split test. I'm not in favor of either, like as in I couldn't pick between them, but I would just split test them out. Okay, two more. Why is conversion rate so important? Okay, Samuel, you must be new to marketing, no disrespect, but conversion rates are hugely, hugely important, okay? It's the difference between spending £10 and getting £20 back and spending £10 and losing £8. Like, conversion rate is everything, okay? So one thing I would suggest, Liza, if you're still watching, if you put the link to this in the comments, but go to our conversion rate calculator. It's called our ROI calculator, and just input some data. And it's mind-blowing how powerful conversion rates are. And often it's the last piece of the puzzle, and the puzzle that people forget about. People obsess about ads and getting traffic to a page, and then the page isn't optimized or shit, and it doesn't convert, and it's the last piece. But you need to get that piece right first. And that's where my guys come in. So head on over to landingpageguys.com because they can do that for you. And then lastly, and I've got a few more questions on the live, which is great. So if you have questions, guys, we're going to wrap this up. So ask them below. Do you think videos on sales pages improve conversion rates? Again, split test it. And I know that's an easy answer for me to say, you know, I'm not right or wrong, but split test it. What I would suggest is you don't have a preloaded video. I like having, and we've seen good results with having videos in modals. So you have the call to action. Let's say, for example, I think you can all see this. Yeah, you can. So let's say, for example, our call to action was this blue on our page. Next to it, inverse the colors. So have like a blue stroke around the button, but the button should be clear and have like watch video. Because video can be really good, right? It can really help sell a product, especially in e-com, because you can visibly see the product. So they do work. I'm not a fan, and we haven't seen good results with like these preloaded videos above the fold that take up the whole screen. I don't think they work anymore. They're slow to load. It's not a very good user experience. So I would give people the option, if you have a video, and load it in a modal. That should work. So Liza's dropped the ROI calculator below, so make sure you check that out. And we've got Everin on YouTube said, what do you think about the checkout on the same page as the landing page? Okay, so yeah, to do this, you need to use something like Webflow or Sticky or Connective. You can't obviously do this with native Shopify, or you can do it with WordPress or WooCommerce with a lot of coding. 9 times out of 10, we don't do it. I think it's a little intuitive. It's kind of like forcing that checkout down someone's throat without them committing to purchase. And I think it turns a lot of people off. So I haven't got too much data on this. All I can say is that we don't hardly ever do this. And to me, it's quite a spammy way of doing it. So it's worth a test. Again, it's an easy answer. I'm sorry, but I don't personally recommend it. Okay, any more questions, guys? Please put them below. Mohammed's asked, what's the best image or heading for a mobile phone business lead gen? Okay, so I'm guessing you sell phones or phone repairs. Is that what you're saying? So what's the best image or heading? Can you just comment with a bit more what you do, Mohammed? Do you sell phones, or do you sell phone repairs, or what do you do? And I'll come up with some content. Let's just wait for that, because this could be quite a cool exercise. Guys, if you've enjoyed this, please hit subscribe. Please go to landingpagelab.com and join the group. If you are in the group and you're not on our YouTube, go to YouTube and hit subscribe. All the engagement, all the comments just helps and encourages us to do more for you guys and put out more content. You know, Liza has been working tirelessly inside the lab doing 140 audits. It's mad. You know, free audits for you guys on YouTube in the lab. So Mohammed said, yeah, for a pre-launch, yes, campaign. Okay, so I'm thinking you do phone repairs, maybe. So as far as a headline, get into the mind of the consumer. Okay, so you sell phones and accessories. Okay, so get into the mind of the consumer. Why are they coming to you? They're coming to you to buy a phone and accessories. Why are they using you over someone else? Well, it's because of affordability, and it's because of what's the word? It's because of how easy it is to buy. Okay, so it all comes down to, are your products cheaper? Are this quality good? And is it easy to buy? So that's what you need to focus on. You need to say something above the fold like low priced phone accessories, high quality phone accessories at a low price, or something like that. And then go into detail in that sub headline of like how convenient it is. That's the word I was looking for. Convenience. Convenience is huge. So in e-com, why would someone go to you over someone like Amazon when Amazon do next day delivery? So you need to be as convenient as Amazon. Okay, so you need to touch on those pain points: affordability, convenience, and quality. So come up with something like that. So quality products conveniently delivered at a lower price. Something like that would work very, very well. And then your picture, again, if it's more about you, if you're behind the brand, have a picture of yourself. Show people that you're a real person holding the products, whatever that may be. Trust is huge. So trust, use those. Who are the brands that you're selling? You know, let's say, for example, you're selling like Nokia, iPhone, blah, 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 accessories. Put those brands there. Say, we are trusted by these brands. You know, and that instantly makes me entrust in those brands, so I trust in you. Go and watch our videos on YouTube. There's a whole couple of videos led about mobile design, also about how to build high converting landing pages. Guys, this has been awesome. Thank you so much for those of you who stuck around. If you have stuck around, hit me up in the comments. Let me know if you enjoyed this. Let me know if it was helpful. Thank you so much for your time. I hope you will have an amazing weekend. If you need any help or you would love our incredible team who consistently get results for our clients to help you out, head on over to landingpageguys.com, fill in 4 questions, get on a free strategy call with the team, and we will skyrocket your conversion rates. That's guaranteed, by the way. If we don't get the results, we will keep working until we do. So hit us up at landingpageguys.com. Have an amazing weekend. Thank you so much for joining me. And I'll see you inside the lab or on YouTube very soon.